So as you can see there, my coolant reservoir has split in half and it's leaking coolant, and I've got a oil leak from my oil filter housing as well. So I'll take this off first. After taking that off, that should give me some space, and then we got to take a few of these off, move that to the side, have access to that, and then we got another bolt down there, another one there, another one here, and then we're going to replace this as well as it's leaking. Carbon brace off to get access to that one. Almost all the coolant out. Just got to take this off, careful you don't break it, and then take this out the way so I have access to the oil filter housing, and yeah, we'll go from there. That's off now. I'll put a little bag over it just in case something flies in there, and yeah, there we go. I think because we took that off, this is going to be so much easier. It's only a little clip that's holding it, and it should be a connector at the bottom as well. Take this one off, take this off, and that should be simple. It's pretty much empty, so that's great for me. And then next thing to do now, I think, is take the intercooler off. So intercooler off, and then we're pretty much almost, well, more than halfway. So untighten these. They're obviously loose now. I want to take this off. You got to take this little bracket that's holding it in place off as well. Take this little clip off, and then I'm gonna get it round into a bucket and get that water out by blowing in there, and it should get it out the system. Okay, so because I blew it out of here and from there into my little bucket, there was no water that ran, but I still put a cloth there just in case. Now I've covered these with a glove, so I've covered everything, to be honest, to make sure that nothing falls in there, because I am outside, so just in case. So just gotta pull these off, they're already loose, and tug on it and get that out the way. Now on this side, all I gotta do is take this off. I already took the little sensor off by here, and just gotta take this, I think it's called the J pipe, off. So I don't know if that's normal or not. That side nothing on, and this side it seems like there's, I don't know what that is, oil, or I don't know. Could just be condensation because it's so cold, but I'm not sure. So we've taken the intercooler off. Pretty easy, to be honest. Yeah, that's off. Now what I'm working on is getting to all these little nuts and bolts, which there are a few, all because of this one little screw by there. What a bunch of, if they just put it a little bit to the left, you don't need to do any of this except from this bit. Yeah, brilliant design. Take this off so I can put this to the side, hopefully. Looks like something's holding it there. At least I'll have a little bit more wiggle room. And after that, I think it's time to get on to the manifold. Next, I'm just taking the oil filter out so the oil can drain in there. You can tell the oil's brand new still. It hasn't even got 1,000 miles on it. So yeah, back down. I'll take a clean cloth and just clean that up. So I've loosened this. I'm going to take off the manifold now, and that's a 11mm. And then after that, we'll get on to actually removing the housing itself. We're going to see how it's going to work out, because obviously the videos that I'm looking at, they don't have to deal with that because it's an M car. It's the N55, not the S55. I haven't seen anyone do an S55. So yeah, we're gonna see what's gonna happen with that. So maybe we can maneuver it up and out. So hopefully we won't have to touch any of that line. That's the line that's going to the intercooler, obviously. So yeah, so we'll see. Took the manifold bolts off. That one is not easy to get to. You have to have a swivel. They're all off now. You don't need to take it all the way off. Even if you pull it off just a tiny bit, I don't know if you can see that, it's just off a tiny bit. You have plenty of access there. And yeah, we'll get on to removing that now. I've loosened the bottom and the top one. Just got to loosen that. Take this little sensor off, and let's see. I had to take that E8 off. There was one just down by there connected to that, and then one here. It's a bit of a struggle. Scratched it a bit by here, but you have to take that off, otherwise you don't have access to this little screw here. Right, let's put everything back in its place, like the cloths, and then take this housing off. So finally got it off. And there it is. So this looks very brittle, and you can tell where it's been leaking. So yeah, look at that. That's where we got the leak. But we're going to change both of the, well, we're going to change these O-rings here. We're going to change this one, and we're going to change the gasket in there as well. Obviously we need to clean this. So I just managed to get a corner off. So I picked the softest side, and it was still solid to get off. So we'll see. You got to be careful, obviously. It is solid. This is not what it's meant to be. As clean as I could get it. And now I'm just gonna clean the inside. The oil on my one was leaking by here, as you could see, like the black marks are coming all the way over here. Yeah, just making sure that I'm cleaning it thoroughly. Already cleaned that, just need to put the gasket on. I'm just cleaning here, and then when I put the gaskets on, and yeah. So this one is very flexible, and this one is brittle as, and it was literally frozen on it, so yeah. Here's the old one, and that bit's done. Brand new one on there, connected to the electric, connected to that, and connected to the water hose below. Just need to fill it up, and connected here. Obviously waiting for the airbox, because that connects onto that, or no, actually connects to the carbon brace. So the day after, and this is the part that I was waiting on. He gave me the wrong ones of these, and yeah, now we've got them, and it's the next day because they didn't have it in stock. So today, hopefully finish, and we'll end the video. So everything was done from yesterday anyway. All I had to do was loosen this, loosened it off. I didn't tie it on properly anyway, but put the new O-rings on, and yeah, fitting it back on now. I think that's 8 Newton meters. I need to check, and pretty much done. Just gotta top up some oil, and obviously do the coolant flush, and that's it. So just on the coolant flush. So that's just done. The water pump has gotten all the air bubbles out. Pretty much just above the full. That one is just under the full, so all good there. So I've got a small problem. Oh, I don't know how big or small it is. Right here is a leaking, as you might or might not be able to see. Yeah, you can see it there. So it's leaking onto the belt. Let's have a look at any other connectors. None of these are leaking. So found the issue. It was very simple. The issue was nothing to do with the car, all to do with me. See how it's here now, and before it was a little bit further back. I just didn't push it in hard enough, and yeah, now the connector's on properly, and just gotta dry the belt and run the water pump again, make sure there's no leaks again. That's why best idea is to just make sure every connector you've taken off, every plug you've taken off. Just have another look. So there you go. This could have caused a massive problem. This could have just leaked whilst I didn't notice, made the belt wet, and then it comes off, ruins the engine, and for one stupid little mistake, it could have cost me the engine. So almost done. Gonna put some more oil in here, and yeah, we'll top it up, make sure it's some in there. Obviously I haven't put any yet, so make sure that's full. You gotta take your time with this bit and let the oil go down. My car was already a little bit down on oil, obviously because of the oil leak, so I'm gonna make sure I account for that. I'm doing another coolant flush, waiting on the water pump to get on, and then when we're done with that, we'll check for leaks again, make sure there's no leaks, and then we've got to top up the oil. Just make sure there's plenty of oil in there, and then we should be good. Obviously we need to check for oil leaks as well, and for at least this whole week I will be checking to see if there's any coolant or oil leaks, to make sure that I have put everything in place properly. Just that little tiny thing was off a little bit. Obviously it needs to be in its right place, otherwise obviously it's going to leak, but it's easily missed. So you can hear it. I'm just gonna make sure that's not leaking again, but no leaks there. Let's make sure there's no leaks. This one is bubbling. No leaks here, no leaks there, no leaks. I'm just keeping an eye on this one again. Yeah, we're all good. I didn't take any of those off, but we'll have a look still. We did put a brand new one of these on, so yeah, looks good. Any water down there? No. Brilliant. I think we're pretty much all good now. Seems like I've got a little bit of noise coming from that belt, obviously, because there was a little bit of coolant on it. I did wipe most of it off, but maybe it was a bit more than I thought that was on there. Perfect. Exactly what I was missing, managed to put in. So if I put a little bit more, we would have ruined it. And actually, I don't know, does it tell you if it's above? It probably does tell you if it's above the maximum. We are on a little bit of a decline, so yeah, for it to say max, that's pretty good. That's very good. And now, without the engine running, just the water pump, we checked it twice. We found one water leak, coolant leak. We solved that problem. That was my own fault. I didn't clip it in properly. Now I'm looking around, making sure that the belt is as dry as possible, and everywhere else no leaks, oil or coolant wise, and it looks pretty good. This clip, I am gonna put that on properly, so I need to push that a little bit out like the other one. After that's done, I'll put the V-brace on and go for a test drive. I think pretty much all done then. That's part. Now putting the carbon brace on. We'll take this screw off actually, in order. I'll put this here so I don't lose it. So let's take that off, and that's going here. And we get this under. There we go. Okay, so that's part. Still got more to do. We got to put these back on, give the engine a little clean. But actually, just leave them. So all done. Everything's put back together. Had another look around to check. No oil, no coolant, nowhere. Bone dry, perfect. Hopefully they stay that way now for another 50-60,000 miles. And yeah, it was really straightforward. And this is an M car, like most of the people that I've been watching on YouTube, obviously, for taking my one off, they were doing it on the N55. This is the S55. I had to take that off. That was extra, and then this pipe was in the way. That was an extra thing that I had to do. And obviously the carbon brace, but all straightforward. Glad I'm recording this video because I forgot to tighten this down. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll have another check over and should be done. Just on a test drive, everything seems fine. So the engine is up to temperature. I took it on for a test drive and everything seems perfect. So just checked everywhere for the leak and there is no leak anywhere at all. So fingers crossed, 50-60,000 miles, we won't hear anything about this again.